with Jess Lujan.
Good evening, Guam. I'm Jess Lujan. Welcome to episode 3 of The Buzz. And of course, again, my guest, Guam Attorney General Liz Barrett-Anderson. Good evening, General. How you doing?
Very good, Jess. Glad. Thank you for having me on 3 shows.
Well, thank you. Plebiscite, medicinal marijuana. Let's talk about the consumer protection side of the house, because you're very aggressive in that as well. A lot of things to talk about.
When I was Attorney General 25 years ago, I was instrumental in getting a consumer protection statute enacted. And I come back 25 years later, and I'm going, well, the office needs to do a little bit more, get more proactive. And I've actually returned a full division, the Consumer Protection Division. It's headed by Deputy Attorney General Fred Nishihira, and we have been handling so many issues. The tax fraud issue. You know, a lot of our consumers in Guam have been getting letters from the IRS wanting to garnish their money because they owe income tax, and we understand it's a scam. So we're working on that. And I thought the best way to get out to the consumers, you know, what are our laws out there, and how do we protect ourselves, is to do that little radio, It's the Law. And I know it's not this station, but just yesterday I got an email from a lady, and she says, you know, I bought a car and it broke down on me in 30 days, couldn't get it repaired. I went back to the dealership, and they, because of the lemon law, gave me a new car. And so she was so happy. So little tidbits like that, including, especially, I'm sure a lot of us, including yourself, got gift certificates for the holidays.
Absolutely.
And the rule of that is if there's a date on it, the Federal Trade Commission says that the gift certificate is good for 5 years.
5 years.
If there's no date on it, it's good forever.
Forever.
Yeah, it's money.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, it's like giving cash, right?
It's like giving cash.
You spend a day, it's all gone. But I mean,
so I love the consumer issues.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, this is great, because I mean, you know, again, because of where we're at sometimes, and maybe years ago, maybe people took advantage, maybe companies, individuals took advantage of certain people because we're here, and we always hear the arguments about, well, because you live so far away from the United States, where we get the majority, and you know, of course, our shipping, the Jones Act situation. So you know, so the prices, of course, of consumables, whatever it may be, we import everything, it's going to be a lot higher. And okay, we've, I guess, pretty much succumbed to that already. We've accepted that. But you know, I mean, I know there are now some retail outlets out here now that said, hey, you know what? We don't price our products based on our destination of being on the boat. You know what? Whatever products we sell, whether it's winter products, whatever it may be, we sell it because it moves, and we rely on volume sales versus
supply and demand.
Yeah, versus again specific pricing for Guam. And we're going to have to hire more people again to get the pricing out there. So it takes longer to be able to get our product and our goods on the shelves. And doing that, this one, you know, containers come in there, it's off the container onto the shelf. Pricing is already done in the central pricing occasion. So if some outlets can do that, price, you know, again, because they have maybe other outlets, I can understand, again, you know, specifically where you don't have national chains, right? So you can understand more of non-national chains only, you know, again, specific Guam, I can understand that. But national chains, international chains, they still give us, for example, I mean, yeah, we got to get this here, we got to get this from here, and we got to ship it and things like that. One of the things is fuel. We don't get it from the States. We get it from Singapore. From Singapore. I know and you know this, the regulations, the Clean Air Act in California is very strict. So it's very expensive to produce fuel in California. More expensive than producing the fuel that we get here because of all the restrictions they have. I'm going, okay, so you factor that in, okay, you factor that, and let's talk about the price of again, bring it in through freight, I mean, again, through a container or a tanker, bring in fuel here. So why don't we just call it a wash then? If we call it a wash based on how much it costs to produce expensive fuel here and price of a tanker to bring it here. So let's call it a wash. why is it that we're maybe $2 even more than over there if we call it a wash?
You know, Jesse, I have to say that, and my staff hears me say this, my management staff, déjà vu, which is translated from French is, I've seen it before. And when I was Attorney General before, I did go after the gas companies because it doesn't matter whether you're in Adelup, you're in EPEN, or you're at Airport Road. All the gas prices are the same.
Same, yeah.
You know, and the gas companies learned a very hard lesson from the late 70s when the United States Justice Department went after the gas companies for antitrust violation,
yeah.
right? So now what they do, the companies out here, there's always a leader, and that leader seems to be Mobil. Mobil's been here for a long, long time. And so there is no collusion that we've ever been able to see. They might take binoculars, and if Mobil goes up, the next day everyone else seems to go up. And I believe that 95% of all gas stations are company-owned gas stations as opposed to franchise or single-owned.
Sure, sure.
I think the only one that's personally owned now, it used to be Martinez, but now it's Mr. Jackson.
Sure, sure.
And so what happens is when a company decides to raise its price, all their stations, and there's no competition because they're all companies. They're all companies. And it's very difficult to go after, you're talking about going after the big giants. The giants are oil companies, airline companies, you know, carrier companies, big companies that
deep pockets
that protect their pricing, their pricing. And when I went after the gas companies before, you know, the price kind of went down a little bit, but we couldn't prove
collusion.
a case, collusion, right, collusion. And so when you're talking about prices, unless there's antitrust and collusion, then prices are determined by supply and demand. From the consumer protection aspect is our statutes protect against false advertisement and misrepresentation. So that's where our office comes in. If you have a store that has this 75% sale sign in their window, and that's been there for an entire year, well, obviously that's not a sale price anymore, and that's false advertisement. So that's where our office can come in and protect consumers. But with regard to these big pricing disparities, it angers everybody. It angers me.
And I understand that because I mean I was reading on the paper a while back here in regards to, of course, a former attorney, actually the first Attorney General of Guam, elected Attorney General, I'm sorry, Doug Moylan. We talked that he was going after that as well, and he says, hey, you know, individuals, they probably won't have an opportunity because I mean you're limited in your funding and maybe even government, because these, of course, these oil companies are international companies, okay, and they're very deep pockets, and that's their expertise.
The individual can't do this. There's no cause of action for individuals.
Cause of action, So that being said, I said, but you know what? We're not helpless in a sense. We have our lawmakers. We're lawmakers. We can look at certain things, and I mean, the only thing we have to look at basically is the unintended consequences that we may have, and sometimes we intend to do the right thing, but there are the other reaches that maybe affect other companies. But maybe some of the things that maybe our lawmakers can look at is that if you're an importer, if you are a wholesaler, that maybe you cannot you know, like own a station as well, and they'll have to be privately owned. You know, something like that. Anyway, that you can do on the local side, and maybe other, like as well, like you can own maybe more than 4 or 5 stations. You know, but again, you know, then you become a, what is it? I guess oligopoly.
Well, our statute, our consumer protection statute, was enacted when I was AG before. I come back and it's in dire need of updating. It hasn't been touched in 20 years. And it's based on deceptive and false advertisement. CNMI has a far better statute because theirs is more recent, and allows the Attorney General of CNMI to go after companies that engage in unfair trade practices, which is a little different from deceptive.
And the CNMI is exempted from the Jones Act. Be right back.